Greetings, this is Cliff Bell, and I'm a real estate agent with Elizabeth Alcott and Associates in Napa. And today's conversation is buy now and refinance later investment plan. This is a good way to, if you can afford a home now and interest rates go down, you can end up buying another property by taking advantage of appreciation and refinance. So I've done this in the past, and so I wanted to walk you through that. The plan really is you buy now if you can afford it. Interest rates could be at their peaks. You know, no one has a crystal ball. I don't either, but they look to be closer to the top than the bottom. And then the third step is to refinance and get a cash out loan on the property they buy today when rates drop, and then use the cash out to buy the second investment. That's kind of the simple step-by-step plan. And I'll lead up with a summary financial plan just to show you similar to how I've done it, but I'll start with the house buying now, and then we'll go through that in detail. Okay, let's talk about buy now if you can afford now. Buy an investment property if you can right now. Inventory's low, but the interest rates are high, so there's a good balance of buyers and sellers. So you can still get good buys, not having to overpay. But prices seem to be going up slowly now, and interest rates seem to have peaked. So it's a good opportunity. People are waiting for prices to drop or rates to drop, and I think if you get in that place when the rates do drop, prices will go up. So if you can afford to buy it right now, that would be a good idea, and then prices will rise when the rates do drop, and you'll be able to take advantage of that. So that'd be the reason to buy now, is thinking forward in the future that when rates do come down, the prices will go up, in addition to just the normal appreciation of housing as it goes. The second part of this strategy is really interest rates could be kind of at their peaks right now. That's sort of what I see. Inflation is slowing. Fed has signaled that they're going to more follow their data. They're not saying we expect to do multiple increases like they had been in the past. They know there's a delay in the effects of the rates going up, so they're waiting to see what those impacts are. And then again, inflation has been moderating. We've already seen easing in the job market and other things, and rates are not likely to fall as fast as they went up. So I don't think this is like COVID where they're gonna, oh no, we have an emergency, we're gonna do that. I think we're going back to more of a normal business cycle, and so when inflation gets under control, they'll be able to ease and help push the job market into better shape, and they'll try to strike that balance. I think we're trying to settle back into that state we've been in for quite some time. So that's where I think we are, and I think that's why it's a good time to buy and then take advantage of what this program I'm talking about when interest rates drop and houses go up. Okay, the next part is refinance with a cash out mortgage when rates drop. After 5 years, or assuming the average appreciation, which is what we've seen over the last 30 years, which is 4%, assuming you start with a $500,000 original price, and I'm using numbers to try just to make the example work out so that the numbers are round. But if you do that and you do a 4% compounded annually of that, you end up with a value in 5 years of $608,000. Not bad to have earned $100,000 as an investment property. So with all likelihood, if you didn't start out with positive cash flow, they usually say within 5 years you will have positive cash flow on a property. You can then refinance at a lower interest rate. And I made an assumption that rates started out at 7 and went to 5. You can play with the numbers and get that, but it's really more for an example to explain the situation. So you could get now that the home is worth $608,000, you could get a $486,000 loan, which would then be the equivalent of 20% down. And that's what you do for that. And then let's talk about the next step. Okay, here's use the cash out to buy another investment. So your loan over the 5 years has been paid down from the original $400,000 down to $376,500. I think it's $26. But and assume loan fees, which is probably high, that you have to pay $9,500. It's just I'm using it to make the numbers work out really well. $9,500 to refinance, and your new loan would be $486,000 minus then $9,500 for fees to pay off, and then you have to pay off the $376,500 loan. So you end up with $100,000 in tax-free money that you've got from refinancing the property. and that's your 20% down for the next property. So voila, you buy a property now, knowing the interest rates are high, knowing that the house will appreciate, and that you'll be able to refinance when the rates come down. I picked 5 years. I don't have a crystal ball, but from the numbers might be more or less, but in general, you can see that the situation would change, and you'd end up with $100,000 to do that. Now, I'm just going to go through the summary just to give you a sense of all the numbers here. So there's a lot of numbers, but hopefully you can just stop the video and take a look at them. Okay, here's the summary of the plan. You put $500,000 purchase with $100,000 down. That's 20%. Your monthly payments at 7% for 30 years is $3,328 with taxes and insurance. And that's just, I use the internet calculator. In 5 years of 4%, you end up with $608,000. Remaining loan of $376,526. And then do a 5% cash out loan of $486 at 80%. You'll be able to take out $100,000, assuming the 9.5K I talked about. So you end up with a new payment of $3,421, which is just slightly higher than your $3,328, but most likely the rents in the 5 years will have increased, so that you're still probably in a positive cash flow. So you end up buying a house now, you end up with positive cash flow, you end up with that $100,000 back that you put in it to buy another property to start the cycle all over again. So that's sort of the scenario that I have, where this might actually be the best time, because you're actually going to take advantage of, within the next 5 years, interest rates dropping. Again, maybe they won't, so there's a bit of risk, but there's a bit of risk with every financial investment. And I just wanted to show you this one because I think it's one I've used in the past very effectively. When interest rates dropped, I was able to refinance and actually buy another property directly using, and again, all this money coming out with a cash fly refinance is pre-tax, so you're not going to have to tax any of this, and you can use it as pure down payment for your next property.